What's up, guys? So this is my part 2 and my more advanced version of funnel design. Now, in the first video, I didn't actually design anything. And it's funny that I didn't do that, right? I really went through and did a lot more theory, strategy, etc. about funnel design and how you can stay congruent with your offer. And really, when it comes down to it, like I said before, design isn't huge. It's so much more important to have a good offer, have congruency with the pages that you're sending people to. It's just there's bigger things than design itself. But there are some really, really cool things that you can do with design just to make yourself look world class. Now, a lot of people will have the saying that ugly converts. For me, I like simplicity, and I think that simple converts, and it really does come down to a few of the factors that I mentioned in the previous video about the load speed and all that stuff, which is really why I honed on that so much. I also think that can only be beneficial for you to brand simplicity. So an example would be I have a simple page that's white. There's no negative side effect of putting your logo on there or branding some of your colors on there. Bringing in some clean branding that's simple, that makes your page look better than it did before, better than the ugly that converts, right? So in this video, I'm going to talk through a few little custom CSS hacks that you can use in your ClickFunnels pages, or in your landing page software. This may not be that relevant to any other landing page software besides ClickFunnels. So if you're not using ClickFunnels, then this may not be relevant for you. However, my basic video definitely was. And yeah, I just really want to show you that you can make your pages look world class with a few simple hacks. So before I jump in, there are 3 or 4 main CSS bits of code that I use consistently always. And I generally use it in like every single one of my funnel builds now. And it's really quite simple. Once you save a snippet of that, you can just reuse that snippet every single time you build a new page to reference your element, your item, and make it world class. So again, before I jump into this, I'm no CSS expert. I'm no coding expert. Dan is the man for that stuff. I am not that fantastic at it, but I know enough to get me some sexy looking pages. So before I jump into it, I just want to show you quickly some of the designs that I have done, and you can see right here that we've got some negative margins on our pictures here. Negative top margin. You just go through it. Just looks really clean, tidy. We've got some more negative margins. That's something I really love to do. Just quickly scroll through this. We've got like Hunterlay Swan. We've got some negative margins on her, so she really pops on the page. That's basic. On this one, we've got some really cool things like custom CSS shadows with overlays. So you can see this section overlays this other section, which looks amazing. Really, really damn sexy. On this one, we've got something similar going on here, just so it looks really world class. And again, one of the other things I really love to do is have custom looking images that stand out. The overlaying sections, the negative margins on the right, so things are massive. And by the way, this page is converting like crazy. Some other things, just making sections pop and just having clean branding and colors that just worked well together is so huge on a page. This one's really, really nice. I quite like this one. This is a little sales page template. Just having the elements like jump off the side of the page. And you can do this with image elements. You don't have to have background images anymore. You can do this. And so that's basically a few of my designs. Before I continue, I'm going to jump into the editor here and have a bit of a play with you guys, so you can sort of see what you can do yourself. So I'm gonna wing this. I haven't planned this before. I'm just gonna jump in and have a play and see what I can come up with using some CSS. So first things first, we've got our checklist of tools here. I've got an advanced tools, CSS. This is basically going to be your one-stop shop for everything you need for building and designing in ClickFunnels, and I guess in general for funnel hacking and stuff like that. But first things first, I'm going to go ahead and jump over to, I quite liked this, where was it? Duotone. I quite like Duotone. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to choose some different branding. Cool. And like I mentioned before, tiny PNG will save your life. You can literally just download, drag, and download again. Now that one's pretty big. Okay, so that might not compress that much. The other one was only 300 or so. For this sake, I'm going to use it. It's under 300 kilobytes, which is my maximum for backgrounds, my maximum. But I'm just going to use it for this demonstration here. So, oops, no, that doesn't work. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll just go ahead and add this. Again, absolute maximum, really. Under 100 kilobytes is ideal for pages, graphics, images, videos, not videos, all that stuff. So this is going to be our starting point. We're going to have this set to 100% width. I'm going to go ahead. I want a video. I want a video in here. And actually, I might just have my logo. Let's just do that, for instance. Okay, as an example. Again, logos really don't matter. Like, there's no benefit from having a logo. Generally speaking, you would have a headline above here. And I'm not going to go crazy in terms of what this says. Oops. This is a quite long image, actually. So I guess we'll just keep building this out. Might have another, there we go. Okay, so actually no, what we want to do is we want to actually push this down. So how we can do that, and this is where we start jumping into CSS stuff. We go into the row, we go into the hashtag. Okay, so row, you go settings, and this is the same for every element and row and column on the page. We click get CSS info, and then we copy the CSS ID selectors. Then we can go into our custom CSS. We'll just paste that. I always go open curly bracket, close curly bracket, press back, enter, and then I start coding. Okay. From here, we can go and type in something called margin dash, we'll do bottom in this case. And in this checklist, I've gone ahead and linked up my margins, CSS margins checklist. It's basically everything you need to know on margins for CSS on the W3 school page there. And then we want to go and put in a colon, and we'll go negative. Let's just go 500 pixels, for instance. Okay, so that worked. So now you can see that we have this video that's going to go down and over the next section. Pretty cool. So let's go. We don't want it to go too much, but we want it to go down. Cool. So what we can do here is we can have a blank section if we wanted to, like this. So now when we start building the next thing, we can just start here. And in this section, what I want to do is go ahead and have a full width section. Now that may not mean much to you either, but I have a really cool bit of code here that basically allows the row within ClickFunnels, so this blue row within ClickFunnels, to go all the way to the edge of the green row. So it's basically called full section width, and all we have to do, and I'll include all of this stuff in my notes here, all we have to do is paste that, and then we just have to go to the section that we want to reference, which is the green, get CSS info. And then we just replace the section with our new section. And now we've got a full row, a full width row. And from here we can do some cool stuff like images that go all the way to the side of the page. And it just really like looks cool. So when this loads, we can do, let's just use this as an example. And for instance, you know, it looks cool like this because it looks like a website now. It's starting to look like a website. But what we can do is just float this image all the way off to the side. And how we would do that is just by grabbing the image. And we can reference that, close, open, close. We can just go and copy our margin bottom. Obviously that's going to put it to the bottom. Then we're just going to go left. Now we can float that off to the side of the screen. And we didn't even have to have this as a background image. This is an actual image that we can move around and it will stay with the negative margin everywhere. It's really cool. So if I save this and preview,
I'll let you know so that you can
what happened here with this? Interesting. So one thing that happens with ClickFunnels, and this would be actually really cool if you wanted to have like a video that was sort of hidden. But one thing that happens with ClickFunnels is that the sections cut off other sections. So what we need to do is go and grab something like this and actually just reference that in our code here, like that. So Z index is in CSS, there's a few different indexes. Y, there's basically across, up, and then there's a width one, so out. Z index is the width, so you got the Y, the X, I'm not sure which way they go, and then you got the Z, which is the width. And then positive, I can't explain position, but basically Z index is how much depth does that element have. And basically by default, every element has 1. So by putting 99, we're telling that element to have more depth than the general elements. So when I save this, this should show the video on top of the section now. And it doesn't. Okay, you know what we can do instead? Let's do this. All right, I've got a hack for you guys. Let's do this, because now, like when we do this, we won't actually need any code. There's one thing that you can do negative margins with in ClickFunnels by default, and it's really cool, is just the top margin. So we can go in here and go like that. And all we have to do, and because this section is below this section. This bottom section will show above this top section. It's just how it works. So now we can go and add our like this. Now it'll work. See that? See how cool that looks? So that's a little bit of a hack there. We've got our image off to the side here. We can do our, this isn't working. We can do now everything you build in this section that's referenced to go full width will always go all the way. So now we can do a headline, we can do a paragraph. We can do maybe like an arrow that points to the package. We can do lots of cool stuff here. I don't have the right orientation arrow, but you get the gist. Actually, I'll just remove that. It's cool. And then just add this down here. And from there, we can go ahead and make this smaller. We can reference all this text to come inwards a little bit so it's not so wide, just so it looks in proportion. So we can just hover over our second column. We can grab our code for that. And all we have to do is we could probably just add it to this. And now that's coming over. We can set it in a little bit. What else we can do? We can grab this now and just push it in. So now our text looks really in proportion on the page. It's not all the way to the side, which could look weird. It's sitting nicely next to our image here. And that looks really cool, right? So we've got like an overlap going on, and then we got some text that looks really cool on the page. And this would look really cool if you had like a transition in from the side as you're scrolling down. It would look really, really cool. And like what else have I got on this? We've got some cool things like a box shadow. Now I really want to show you this one, guys, because this is amazing. So let's go down. Let's go ahead and add in a new section. And what I want this section to do is actually show above this one. I'll do the same. We'll make this one a medium section. And what we'll do, we'll initially put a negative margin of 50. And then we'll go ahead and make this one something that stands out, like a red. I know the color scheme is off. Actually, let's just do orange that we've got here. Cool. So with this, what do we want to do? Let's go ahead and put a one column. Let's go ahead and put just a headline and maybe some bullet points. Okay. Now I'm really not trying to design anything specifically. I'm just trying to show you some little techniques that you can use for sexy design. Now with this box, what we want to do here is actually grab this CSS selector ID, go into our CSS again, open close, space, and then we've got something cool here called a shadow generator. So we can actually go ahead and generate the code with ease here for this box. And don't worry, I actually don't really know CSS that well, which is why I use something like this. because it helps me create some custom shadows with ease without me having to know CSS. So I just go in here and paste that. Straight away, you guys will see that I have a nice custom shadow on that box now, and it looks so much better than the standard ClickFunnels shadows. So if we preview this page now, that looks really cool now, doesn't it? We've got the shadow going on. We've got a full width section. It looks almost website-y. You've got the overlay. It just really looks world class. What else have we got? We've got some stuff like, this is all just about the margins. We've got some other things that we can use like gradient and ColorZilla gradient generator, which is really cool because you can basically generate a gradient like so. And I'll give you an example actually. And if we just copy all of this, we can come back to our page. And you know, I quite like this orange, but I would probably prefer a let's say a nice gradient color on this instead. So we can do this. Now we have a gradient blue on our background color. How easy was that, right? I just had to copy and paste something. And you can actually just go in here and just like copy this CSS, for instance, and you've got 3 pages of different CSS gradients, and they look sexy, like really, really nice. And you can, oh my god, you can actually just change them like this, right? So I'll get like an orange here. You just copy that, you click that one button, and then you can go into your CSS, and we can literally just change this out with ease. And just like that, we have another gradient. How easy is that? Like, it is this easy to create sexy pages in ClickFunnels customly, okay? It is that easy. So those are a few of the tricks that I wanted to show you with ClickFunnels. That is the negative top margins, negative side margins, whether it be either side, full width on your sections, custom shadows, gradients. These are some of the coolest tricks to up your design game in the world. And I'm literally handing it on a platter for you guys here. These are awesome. And I'm just going to go ahead and actually share this funnel with you. So you can jump in and use it too. So I've literally listed out all the tools that I've used in this document for you, so you never have to worry again. Let's just have a look at what this looks like. I don't know if I saved yet. Yeah, it looks amazing. It looks absolutely awesome. So like I said, this is going to be available for you. I'm just going to go ahead and I will just remove this image and just put placeholder ones there, but you get the gist. You can use this and you can utilize this as much as you like. And I hope you guys enjoyed my advanced design techniques and strategies. And I hope you enjoyed my 2-part series from basic to congruency with your affiliate offers, with fonts, colors, branding, all that stuff, and also the more advanced side of things. Thanks for watching, guys, and it's been an absolute pleasure.